When it comes to manufacturing simulation, one of the things that's very easy to overlook is beyond the deterministic types of simulation that people are used to doing when it comes to computer-aided engineering or finite element analysis or other types of computer-based simulation and analysis tools, is what's going to happen when a human being, myself, has to do the job of interacting with these products and the processes that are required to keep this product flying. And so what I want to do today is I want to reach up and see if I can safely remove this red object. Right, we're going to call that a fuel pump for the rest of the discussion today. And I want to make sure that I can safely reach that fuel pump, extract it safely without putting myself or the product at risk, and get the job done with the planned or proposed working environment. So first thing that I want to do is I've already gone ahead and I put down a little throw rug in front of me so that I knew when I was about to step off of this platform. Right, so that was one thing that I did. I also want to keep an eye on where this railing would be. So if in fact this was a rail, I want to know where I would be when my belt is actually up against that and touching against that. So that's about where I am right now. And I want to make sure that I can reach all of these little couplings that are necessary to uncouple in order to remove this pump from this engine. So I need to be able to reach all of those little blue-colored valve couplings. Let's get my finger on that one. There we go. Reach up to this one all the way up there. And can I reach that one? And we found an issue, right? So right now, in order for me to reach that, I find that I have to actually dangle my center of gravity dangerously far away from this railing. And I'm really leaning, and chances are if I had a physical rail here, I would be leaning against that and possibly falling over into the engine out of control. Now, I've already known that, I've learned that, so I'm just going to cheat a little bit and step into thin air and now grab that last coupling and undo it. So that's the first step of this disassembly process, is undoing all of those fittings, making sure that we don't have pressure going to them and anything dangerous flowing through all those pipes and valves. Next thing I want to do is I want to take this tool, and this tool is what I would normally use to try to loosen all of those fasteners that you can see going around here. So in this first case, pretty clear that that tool easily reaches that fastener. I'm not really reaching too far dangerously over to reach that. I can see this other one. The tool is giving me sufficient reach. I can reach over to this one. Visibility is kind of a hard thing. Like right now, when I'm standing at this position, I can barely see that fastener that I'm trying to hit. But I think I could probably still do it and maintain my balance. And then I come to this last fastener, and now I can see that there is a severe amount of collision in between the tool itself, this hose or this duct fitting, and the pump body itself. And by the time I try to wedge that in there to reach down to that fastener, you can see that collision is really keeping me from getting a firm seat against that fastener. So that's pretty much making that disassembly process nearly impossible. So right now, I would probably make some sort of design note for somebody to redesign or reshape this duct so it's easier to get around, or we have to find a way to redesign that pump housing to get that fastener a little bit easier to reach. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the little bolts here, if I can get my fingers on them. There we go. And now I can safely extract the old pump housing. And if in fact I had another pump housing available to replace that one with, I would pick that one up, bring it over here, and prove to myself that I can easily get this done. Now you can see one of the things that I should be thinking to myself is, how much does this thing weigh? Because if this is something that I can't do with one hand, then I would have to hold it with two hands. But that, of course, changes my ability to keep my balance if I'm doing this job. And I'm really, not comfortable reaching with two hands. If I reach with one hand, now I can just adjust my center of gravity a little bit, and it's a little bit easier. But again, if that thing is too heavy for me to hold with one hand, this now becomes possibly a two-person job, and a job that has to be performed a little bit closer to the work object.